Dave Palumbo here with an RxMuscle quick hit. I'm here with 5% nutrition athlete Dru Borden, and I want to just talk to you a little bit about what went on with Rich Piana over these last 2 weeks. Obviously, the tape was released where Rich was using the N-word. He was, berating the girl he was dating at the time. And you're a black bodybuilding athlete who works for Rich. You've known him a long time now. What is your opinion of Rich? I mean, you volunteered to sit here with me because I thought it was important. I know you work for Rich. Do you think that Rich is a racist?
No, I wouldn't be with 5%. I wouldn't be friends with Rich. I wouldn't have any type of association if I thought he was 1% racist. When I heard the video, it didn't really, believe it or not, didn't bother me too much because I know him as a person. Right. If I didn't know who he was, like the audience out there, people that just see his videos, then maybe I'd feel a certain way, but I know him as a person. I've seen no signs of him being racist. He's done more for me with 5% than the other companies have done in all the years. He's got black athletes. He's got people in the warehouse that's working that are black. I mean, I just look at it like he just got mad and said stuff he didn't mean.
A lot of black people have contacted me, bodybuilders in our sport, and they feel that word should never be used by anyone, especially of the white race. With white skin. They think that that's an off-limits word. Matter of fact, I saw a video of Ice Cube was telling off Bill Maher on TV, and he said, look, Bill, you guys don't own that word. We own that word now, and it should never be uttered by a white person because it hurts. It stabs us deep. It's a very hurtful word. I mean, do you feel the same way about that?
I feel it's a hurtful word if I don't know the person personally, and if it's used out of context. I mean, it's used so loosely in the hip-hop community or in the black community that I don't really look at it as being as bad as what everyone says it is.
So it doesn't affect you as like.
It doesn't affect me as much because if I say I wish you were dead, to me that'd be a lot worse than calling you a racist, a racial slur. Right. So I mean, at first from the outside looking in, it looks bad. When I first heard it, I was kind of wow, But I know him as a person, so I know he's not really like that. So I mean, unless I have reason to believe otherwise, I mean, I'm just to be honest with you, I'm gonna keep my eyes open a little more now. Sure. When I wasn't before, but I mean, I don't think he's racist at all. I don't think he would do stuff for me and everybody else and be friends with everybody. And I mean, it just wouldn't make sense to me that he would be that way.
Why did he bring you on board as an athlete initially?
I met Rich a few years back at Europa in Orlando. We talked a little bit, exchanged phone numbers, I believe. And then once he moved to Tampa, where I'm from, I saw him at Powerhouse. We kind of like, hey, how you doing, this and that. Let's get a video together. He didn't realize how much weight I could push and stuff. Right. He kind of liked that. He looked at some of my videos, put a video together, and then next thing you know, we had a written contract. I looked it over, made some modifications, and it was a done deal. And ever since then, it's been great. So I mean, it's been good.
What could you say as a black American, to maybe the people out there who are watching, why they should forgive Rich? Why do you think that they should forgive Rich?
Well, I don't, whether they forgive him or not, that's their decision.
Right.
But the easiest way I can put it to the black community, being a black male,
of course.
A lot of times in the black community, when it's only black people around, if they get cut off on the road by a white guy, they may use a whole bunch of racial slurs and this white this white guy that. We don't, in the black community, we don't look at it as he's racist. We look at it as he's mad at that guy and he so happens to be black.
I see.
But when it's changed around, when a white person uses the N-word, they could just say it one time and they could be mad, and then all of a sudden they're racist, there's no going back or anything like that. So if I feel like if in the black community, we could take that same approach and look at it, okay, he's just mad at that guy. Let's look at his history. Let's look at his track record to figure out what exactly, is he really like this or is he just mad?
So you're saying if he was a racist, he wouldn't have black people working for him then?
Not only that, but I mean, it's not just about him having black people work for him having black friends, him having black, business partners or anything. I mean, if he was a racist, he would have a black guy working for him, taking out the trash that no one sees, that no one, not, guys that are on the team, athletes that are guys that are at the booth where everyone could see. Right. I feel that I know a few racist people, whether they're black or white, and there's a clear difference between someone that just says something. I would take actions over their words a lot more than, just the typical, oh, he said the N-word, oh, he's racist, there's no going back. It's kind of, honestly though, if someone on the street, I've never been called that. I don't know if it's because of my size. We have,
It might be something different.
yeah, it might have something to do with it. But if someone calls me that, I mean, to be honest, those are kind of fighting words for me.
Sure.
But I mean, if I knew who the person was and I knew he wasn't like that or she wasn't like that and they said it to me, I would kind of overlook it and just know that they're mad. People don't know Rich personally, so now they're automatically looking for a reason to cut him off. So I mean,
you have a much more enlightened view of the world. A lot of people are not like that. A lot of people, especially Black Americans, are very, very touchy about that word. Those, like you said, those are fighting words. You use those words, I'm taking you down.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm on the street, if I leave here today and I'm at the store or whatever, and someone calls me that, it's pretty bad. But I don't know who the guy is to call me that.
So what you're saying is the context is important. The context is you can't just say, if you use this word, that's it. We're throwing you in the, that's it. You're done. You're saying that there has to be kind of, look, that's the truth about everything in life. There's context behind it.
Right.
If the person is not a racist, they're not a racist. If they use a word, it doesn't make them a racist necessarily, unless it's part of their daily, mindset.
I mean, if there's a consistent pattern of them doing certain things or using racial terms or segregating themselves from certain, ethnicities or whatever, then I could see it. But if it's just like, I know people that have known or been, 5% followers, whether they're fans of me or Rich or whoever, that have been there for years and years and years, and they love Rich, they love him, he's a great guy, He even comments on my pictures, this and that, and then he uses the word one time. Now it's like, oh, he's never again. So it's like, even if he never would have said that word, everyone would be fine with it. So why not go off of the stuff that he's doing for his athletes, the friends and stuff that he has, as opposed to, if I wish death upon you, to me that's fighting words way more than a racial slur.
No, you're right.
I could be alive and be a racial term, but if I'm dead, I'm nothing. So it's kind of, I don't know. It goes both ways.
If a Black bodybuilder contacted you and said, hey, I'm thinking about, do you think I should work for Rich? What would you say? Would you recommend it? I mean, would you say he's a great guy? I mean, would you go to bat for Rich if a guy asked you? Like, let's say Phil Heath came up and said, I want to, Rich offered me a contract. What do you think? As a Black man, should I do this after what was, put out there?
I would recommend. I wouldn't do it myself if I wouldn't recommend it for somebody else. Okay. So I mean, I definitely would recommend it. I mean, I'm sure they've asked questions. I've gotten hundreds or more than emails and direct messages on social media or instant messages. Why are you staying with 5%? How could you support a racist? This and that. And the thing is I don't support a racist. I never have and never will. But Rich isn't racist. So I mean, he got mad and said stuff he didn't mean. If the guy was short and he said with that short, with that short motherfucker, no one would say, oh, he's,
Well, look,
it's kind of
short people weren't enslaved,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I see what you're
country,
saying.
And made to pick cotton and whipped with whips. I mean, so there's a history there with that word.
But what I mean by that is not so much the history. He was just going off of what that person was. He was mad at that person. That's what they were. So that's what he used.
Yeah, I get it. Like I said, I'm not judging anyone whether who's right or wrong. I'm just showing all sides, and I think it's important as a black man. It was definitely wrong to me. Yeah, as a Black man, I mean, you're giving us your honest opinion, and I respect that. And I know that you are going to be competing at the North American Championships in another month or so. So, are we going to see a pro card come from you this year?
Hopefully. I just got with my coach. I've been prepping for about 2 weeks now. My metabolism's pretty fast. So I don't really need to do that much. No cardio or anything like that. But right now I'm about 295. I'm trying to tighten up a little bit. So.
How tall are you?
6'3".
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get you back here under different terms, and
we'll
talk about the pro card victory.
That's the goal. That's
and celebration afterwards.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me.